Hey, there we go. We are live. Do a chat check here. Make sure everything is working. Looks like it is working on my end. And with that being said, let's jump right into the statistics in the last 6 races at Talladega Super Speedway. Kaz Grala has the best finish in his one race of a 6.0. John Hunter Nemechek has had 2 races. He has an average finish of 8.0. I don't think either one of them are racing. So Eric Jones is actually going to be your pick. Eric Jones with an average finish of 9.2 in the last 6 races. No wins, though. 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 5 top 68 laps led with an average start of 18.3. His low finish is 27th, and his best finish is 2nd. He is followed by Ryan Blaney with an average finish of 10.5. He has 1 win here, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 138 laps led. So I would keep him in mind too. Anthony Alfredo, he's going to be a sneaky one here. Not in the race, though, unfortunately. Then you're going to jump down to Denny Hamlin at 11.2. In the 6 races, he has 1 win, has also led 122 laps. So if you count like laps led, it's going to be Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, William Byron, Ross Chastain, and Kevin Harvick. And then also Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace are also going to be up there on laps led. And not for nothing, Eric Almirola, that race here where he led the vast majority of the laps when Stewart Haas Racing was working together, he led 61 laps here as well. So there's your lap leaders. But let's go down the list and continue the average finishes here. So after Denny Hamlin, it's going to be William Byron at 13.3, Ross Chastain at 13.5, Kevin Harvick at 13.5, Austin Dillon at 14.2 is going to round out your top 10. But because you got some sort of fillers in there, some guys that aren't in this race, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, and Bubba Wallace are going to be your actual top 10 of race car drivers participating in this race in average finish. And if you want to go previous winners have been Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Blaney. Wouldn't surprise me to see Brad Keselowski pull one out here today. Like I said, he's going to be sort of your underrated pick here. 20 laps led, 2 top 10s, and 2 top 5s in the last 6 races with 1 win. But of course, let's see. I'm going to go by the numbers here on this one, and I'm going to go with – I'm picking Eric Jones to win this race. I think either Eric Jones or Brad Keselowski, that's who I'm going with to win this race. But let me know down in the comments below who you think is going to win this race. And not for nothing, I guess we should go to who you should probably stay away from in this particular race. So with an average finish of 37th, Ty Gibbs, but he's only had 1 race. Let's see who's had 6 races here. Daniel Suarez, average finish of 24.5 in the 6 races here. 34th is his worst finish. 8th is his best finish. And Joey Logano, 39th is his worst finish. 3rd is his best finish. Suarez, Logano, they have the same numbers as Quinn Huff and Kyle Larson. So I actually put Kyle Larson in that mix too. So Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, and Joey Logano are going to be guys you want to stay away from. Of course, if you pull for them, put them on your fantasy team. Place your wager on whoever you care to place your wager on. But let's see here. Let's jump into the comments and see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Bumblebee. I made my Talladega tradition biscuits and sausage gravy this morning. So there you go. Biscuits and sausage gravy is always good. A bunch of people saying that they like that as well. Mark Wachowski says, shout out to Jeb Burton. He got it done. Yeah, for sure, Mark. Like Jeb, he needed that win really bad. Not only that, but it's a win for Jordan Anderson Racing, so that is huge as well. So everything about that is good. The Ward Burton legacy continues, of course, with Jeb Burton winning. So everything about that is good. Cool deal for everybody involved. Good win for Jeb Burton. And even after he won the race, there were still people talking junk about him. So there's even drama attached to it as well. Let's see. Bumblebee says, I don't expect today to be as crazy as yesterday was. I think the first stage, it might get a little bit wild, but I think the second stage will sort of be tame. And then I think as the race gets to the very end, that's, of course, always when you see it start swapping and changing up. But I think for most of this race, they'll ride, especially the second stage. I expect today to be a snooze fest, says Mark Barnum. I think the second stage will probably be pretty boring. I think the first stage they'll probably get pretty dicey going for the stage points. Then the second stage, for whatever reason, they don't seem to care about the second stage as much as the first stage. Most drivers and most tracks. Philip, what's going on, man? Team Penske fan, what's going on? Camaro 50, hey, BB. Yesterday's ARCA and Xfinity races were very good. They crashed a lot. Yeah, it seemed to be a lot of crash fests going on. Not a snoozer, but more calm to the end at least. Bumblebee saying, I could see that. I think it's just going to be calm, like you said, to the last 10 laps. I think one of those stages, and I'm thinking it's going to be stage 1. I think one of those stages will be wide open. But it might be stage 2. But I think one stage will be they just sort of ride around. One stage they'll get aggressive and try to get stage points. And then they'll probably ride around until the very end of the race. And then they'll start getting dicey. Bumblebee says, to be honest, I'd take calm over flipping cars, though. Yeah, that's for sure. Penske fan says, can you give me good picks for my fantasy lineup? I will always ask you this question because your answers are always good. Yeah, so I just went through the list there. So let me know sort of specifically who you want to go with. If you're looking at sort of middle tier, but I think your best, the previous winners is who I would go with on that one. So let me pull up those previous winners again. But yeah, Eric Jones. Eric Jones will be a good mid-tier guy. Ryan Blaney will be a good guy to plug in, or Denny Hamlin as your one-tier guy on your fantasy team. William Byron would be as well. Chastain is going to be a one-tier as well. Harvick will be a one-tier. McDowell. So there you go. McDowell. I would put McDowell and Eric Jones in the middle tier. I'm going by how Yahoo does their fantasy. Not sure which one you're using there. And then just pick whoever you want to out of Blaney, Hamlin, Byron, sort of whoever previous winners. Keselowski is going to be a middle tier too. So I would actually have Keselowski in the running for that middle tier. So that would be one of the 3. And then sort of your bottom tier. Who would be good for the bottom tier? I forgot. It's going to be hard to tell with their cutoff. Maybe Justin Haley is. If Justin Haley is available as your bottom tier, I would take him. Todd Gilliland would be another one as bottom tier. Todd Gilliland average finish of 17 in his 2 races here, and he does have one top 10, so he would be a good one. So that would probably be my bottom tier pick there as far as that one goes. So there you go. There's my fantasy lineup. Something as to what it would look like at least. T-Van says, what's up, BB? What's up, T-Van? Mark Wachowski says, always the calm before the storm. That's for sure. There's always one part of this race where it's just seems like nothing's going on. Then all of a sudden it takes off and they go crazy. Bumblebee with the super chat. How'd your short track run go this weekend? Not good. Not good. We'll leave it at that. We worked on the car on Friday. And we thought we had it good, and then qualifying came around, which I wasn't there for the Saturday part of it. I had other things I had to take care of. But they qualified the car after we worked pretty hard on it Friday. Qualified the car. The car didn't qualify well, and we thought we had it good. So I don't know if the tires they bolted onto it didn't match up or something like that. But he ended up in the last chance qualifying race, didn't transfer in the last chance qualifying race. So did not quite make the main event. So that's unfortunate and a bummer, but that's the way it goes sometimes. That if you looked at that field though, that's a stout field. There were some really good race car drivers that finished at the back of that field. So it was just one of those days. It was a tough one. Yeah, I wish I could spend some type of positivity in that, but it sucked. At the end of the day, I hate it for him. Like Tate's a good driver. It's a good race car. Just missed the setup, I guess. So it is what it is. Mark Barnum says, I had a race on watching, but was focused on my pool tournament. Hey, there you go. Pool tournaments get pretty serious, so I understand where you're coming from there. Yesterday's ARC and Xfinity races were good. I'm glad no one was seriously injured with those big wrecks. Yeah, a lot of crazy big wrecks, and thank goodness nobody got hurt. But actually, the crazier the wreck looks, the more energy is dissipated. So when they're flipping and stuff like that, it's actually kind of doing them a favor. It's when you get the immediate stop. That's when the issues sort of come to fruition. It seems to be from what I've seen. Matt Hunter says, impossible to pick a winner today, but predicting front row future driver lineup. Harrison Burton to the 34 after getting replaced by Zane Smith. McDowell moves over to the 38. But where we're going to put Todd Gilliland, man? Todd Gilliland's having a great season. So I feel like somebody might pick up Todd Gilliland. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's locking himself in there. I think Zane Smith is more in the running for one of those Stewart Haas Racing seats. Stewart Haas Racing has come out and said that the 10 car might be gone too. So, or the driver, Eric Amarola, might retire too. So they might be replacing 2 guys. So if that is the case, then I would expect Zane Smith to be one of those drivers, and Todd Gilliland would work his way into either maybe that Wood Brothers seat or stays where he's at. I could see that happening for sure. Roofer says, I got Hamlin if he can stay up front in the bag. Yeah, Hamlin is a super good super speedway racer. There's no doubt about that. Mark Bukowski said, my picks are the number 8 with the number 22 and the number 17 in the top 5. I like that number 17 pick. And, of course, I like the Kyle Busch pick. And Joey Logano, he can get it done if he doesn't get wrecked. That's the issue with the Penske cars. You know the Penske cars are always fast here. You just got to hope they don't get wrecked. I just showed the statistics where Logano doesn't have a great average finish here, but he does have a 3rd place finish in the last 6 races. So as long as he doesn't get wrecked, he usually does get the job done here. He's sort of like Kyle Larson in that, though. This is one of those tracks he's always snake bit at. Kyle Larson it's any super speedway. That 11 is stupid fast. Yeah, but the way this goes, is that going to help him? Is he going to be better as a pusher? I think this is one of those deals where you want to be in 2nd place at the end of the race. So I think that's going to be one of those deals. How am I staying away from Logano when he's won 3 times here? LOL. But he hasn't won 3 times here recently, though. That's sort of the issue. I'm not, because I just go off the last 6 races. I know what you mean. It's like back in the day, it was hard to get off Jimmy Johnson at Charlotte, but after a while, Jimmy Johnson was not the man at Charlotte. So it ebbs and flows. Kevin Harvick at Chicagoland, first 3 years at Chicagoland, Kevin Harvick was the man. Then he never was the same. I never had that same dominance at Chicagoland. NASCAR overtime equals kamikaze mode, says Sonny V. I agree with that 100%. I want Kevin Harvick to win this 800 start in last season. That would be cool. I was really hoping he would win at Martinsville. I was like, man, but don't get me wrong. I wasn't disappointed. I got to see Kyle Larson win at all. But I was also hoping, if Kyle Larson couldn't win, if Kevin Harvick could win, that would have been super special. I have seen Kevin Harvick win in my lifetime, though, so that does take a bit of the sting off from there. But I do want to see him win in his last season. Camaro 50, it seems the Chevys didn't have the speed like the Fords and Toyotas during qualifying. What are your thoughts? Either they're sort of playing games because they feel like Chevrolet has been teched harder than the other manufacturers, or they were focused on drafting with each other instead of raw speed, because we've seen in the past, specifically at Daytona, the Fords and the Toyotas will work on drafting speed and not worry about qualifying speed, and we've sort of seen that bite Chevrolet, even though they've won some restrictor plate races. We've sort of seen that bite Chevrolet, how they look super unstable in the draft. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were working on their package, their setup to be good in the draft. That might be the reason. The other reason, it could be political. They could be saying, hey, you keep teching us this hard, and that's why we can't finish up front. Sort of insinuating that NASCAR is after Chevrolet this year, as some Chevrolet fans believe. Just like last year, if you were a Ford fan, you had to believe Ford was getting unfair teching from NASCAR. Jason Elliott says they need to go back to the old rules, under 12 to go, get it over with. I can see that. Also, I think, under 10 to go, you go to a single file restart. That would also help. There's a number of things they could do for sure. Also, if you're involved in the wreck, you got to go to the back of the field. A lot of things. Homer Simpson, what's up? How many green-white checkers do you think? Over under 2? Oh, green-white checkers. I'll call it down the middle. I'll take 2. I think we might see 2 of them. Let's see. Looking forward to Dover. Can't stand a wreck fest we're about to see, says Dr. Moretz. I hope it's not a wreck fest, but Dover is always going to be a good race. I always enjoy the races at Dover, so I understand looking forward to it there. Kelly Combs, hello everyone. My question is about yesterday's Xfinity. Is everyone okay? It was scary. Yeah, it seems everybody checked out in the infield care center, so everybody is okay. So that is always a good thing. Thanks for jumping on here, Kelly. Joe Bob Purdue says, how many cars will flip today? My guess is 3. I hope none. I hope none. I hope we saw all the flipping we're going to see yesterday. That's all I can say about that one. Kelly, Hemrick and Perkins are okay, says Bumblebee. I'm going with Keselowski today, says T-Van. I think he's a good pick. Keselowski has got to be a great pick. I'm trying to think of another Ford driver I would put in front of Keselowski. based off the numbers. And I can't really think of one. So he would be my Ford pick. Denny Hamlin would be my Toyota pick, and my Chevrolet pick, maybe Willie B or somebody like that. Maybe Ross. I don't know. I'm thinking William Byron for the show. Glock says, what's up, all the baloney lovers today? Stewart Haas Racing for the win. Hey, so there you go. Stewart Haas Racing, definitely good here. You never know what you're going to get with Chase Briscoe. Kevin Harvick is always going to be super good. And Eric Almirola, here you go. Eric Almirola is maybe a Ford driver I would put in front of Brad Keselowski, because Eric Almirola is really good at this track. We've seen him get the job done here, and he's consistently finished well here. So historically, maybe not necessarily in the last 6 races, but like I said, he's led 61 laps in the last 6 races. So definitely, if I'm picking a Stewart Haas driver, I'm going either Kevin Harvick or Eric Almirola, and I'm leaving Ryan Preece out of it, because Ryan Preece, I just don't know what you're going to get with him. He has not necessarily been in the Cup Series drafting in quite some time. And I don't remember him being super great back in the day, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look up Preece's stats on that one. Team Penske fan, all right, I got Keselowski, McDowell. And that being said, just because I said that and went all elaborate with it, Ryan Preece probably wins this race, right? You guys know that. That's my luck. Team Penske fan, all right, I got Keselowski, McDowell, Jones, Burton, Hamlin, and Wallace for fantasy picks. You think that's good? They're all solid. The only one that would scare me is Harrison Burton, just because he seems to either finish really well here or wreck. So that would be my only concern, would be Harrison Burton. But I don't know who you slide in place of him for that lower tier guy, unless Justin Haley qualifies as one of your lower tier drivers. So that's going to be a tough one for sure. Maybe Todd Gilliland, if Todd Gilliland qualifies in that same spot. So if you could swap out Haley or Todd Gilliland for Burton, I would maybe do that. Let's see here. Homer Simpson, I'm going with Eric Almirola for a top 5. Yeah, if you're doing the top 5 deal on DK or whatever, Eric Almirola for a top 5 is definitely a good one. Eric Jones for a top 5 is definitely a good one, because he always finishes 6th. Or for a top 10, I guess I should say. I hope Blaine Perkins is okay after the flip, says Dawson Fair. I think he's okay. Lost Knowledge says hail to BB. You don't have to hail to me, but I appreciate the support, Lost. The wrecks were ugly. But that's deceptive. Yes, sort of the way when they flipping and stuff like that, they're dissipating energy, so it's not always as bad as it could be. That being said, there's a lot of things inside of that car. If they break loose and they're flying around, it's still a dangerous situation. Just when they're flipping, it's a little bit of a less dangerous situation than a sudden stop, right? So sudden stops are what sort of gets you. Leon's Automotive, howdy BB from Tucson, Arizona. What's up, Tucson, Arizona? What's up, Leon's Automotive? Did you catch the Cars race at Hickory? Now that's short track racing. Yeah, I caught it. I caught it on Friday for sure, because I was down there working on Tate Fogelman's car. Unfortunately, he didn't make it into the show, but we felt like we had the car right. So I don't know if when we bolted on new tires, it went a different direction or what. If the setup we had was set up for more of a long run, because the last chance qualifier was only 15 laps. But yeah, the Cars Tour race is always good. The Cars Tour Pro Late Model race, Justin Whitaker, we were helping him out a little bit too. He did really well in that. He made up a lot of positions, didn't qualify well, but he wheeled that thing and made up at least 10 positions last time I checked, and they had a crazy finish to that one as well. Camaro 50 says, I have errands to do before the race, so I have to get off the channel. Hope it's a good one. I appreciate Camaro 50. Fist bump for the old super chat there. Always appreciated. Let's see here. Here for the best pre-race show in NASCAR, says Tim Brace. I appreciate it, man. I do my best. Glock, what's up, dude? Today's race is luck of the draw, not how fast you are. That could be true to some extent. You have to be there for the end, so you got to have some strategy to get there to the end. Then at the end, I do think there is more skill to the drafting than a lot of people give credit to. But yeah, for sure, after a bunch of people wreck out, it's anybody's game. How about Frankie Munoz taking over the points lead in ARCA? Malcolm no longer in the middle. Like all those corny jokes must be made. They must be made. Matt Hunter, Gilliland, the number 4, Herbst to the number 10. I can see them taking Herbst as a pay driver for sure, because the number 4 is losing that Busch sponsorship, in my opinion, allegedly, whatever you got to say. So they're going to have to find a sponsorship for that number 4 as well. So either whoever you put in there, whether it be Gilliland or Zane Smith, you're going to have to find a sponsor for them as well. So that is also going to play a factor into it too. So while I would like to actually see Todd Gilliland go over there, I think it's probably going to be more leaning towards Zane Smith because I think he's going to have a better chance at getting. I think he's got more sponsors coming with him, but I could be totally wrong on that also. Todd Gilliland is plugged in just as good as anybody as far as that goes as well. Joe Bob Purdue says NASCAR should get the race should get a race after Chicago after this year because that city has gotten crazy. All know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know that they'll even have it this year. Like it if it keeps going like it's going, at some point you can't keep polishing that turd, right? So you got to do something about it. So I don't know if they do it this year. I think it's definitely one and done. Period. End the conversation. No matter what happens, this is going to be, if they get it done this year, this will be the last year they ever have it. I feel strongly about that. And where they go from there, I don't know. Aldous says, BB, here's how I would fix the All-Star race. And Jason Elliott says they want to get penalized from NASCAR again for being the best team out there. Talking about also going after talking about Chevrolet and Hendrick and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean it could be. It could be. I mean, if you look at it, the last I think 3 or 4 penalties in a row have all been Chevrolet drivers and stuff like. Definitely, it might be more than that if you count individual teams. I think the last 6 teams, if you count individual car numbers, because all 4 of the Hendrick teams got hit or whatever. So yeah. I can see how you could feel like that as a Chevrolet fan, and definitely last year I could see how you feel like that if you were a Ford fan. Last year, if you were a Ford fan, you had to feel like you were just totally getting screwed every time there was a penalty. And all the way through this year when Hendrick got their penalty thrown out as a Ford fan, you got to feel like you're getting screwed too. So it is what we. And as a Toyota fan, when they found the 2 pieces of tape underneath the wrap, you had to feel like that was the chintziest call of all time, taking that win away from Denny Hamlin. So no matter who gets called for the penalty, you feel like you're getting screwed over just because NASCAR has gotten so crazy with the penalty structure set up. William Wagman says, I love Bologna Burger and NASCAR Nation. Congratulations to Kevin Happy Harvick on his 800th start. Question for you. When will the big one happen? And will Bubba Wallace lead it off? That's a good question. So there's 3 guys. There's 3 guys I think drive super aggressively and they get usually either good results or bad results. And I think the big wreck is going to happen with one of 3 dudes. I think it's either going to be Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and I'm actually going to add a 4th, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and a 5th, Eric Jones. Eric Jones has really good finishes here, but the last few races Eric Jones has raced here, and I'm an Eric Jones fan. I have nothing against him. He drives super aggressively way too early in the race for some of those moves he's making. At least last year he did, and I was surprised by that. So I would throw those 5 in there. I think those 5 will be where your first big wreck comes from. Not because they're trying to cause a wreck or anything like that, just because they are wired to be hyper aggressive. So I see one of the big ones coming from them. So yeah, it could possibly be Bubba. It could be Logano. Could be Eric Jones. Ricky Stenhouse. We know it could definitely possibly be him, right? He's either going to win or wreck. Except for this season. We got to give credit to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He has had one of his best seasons of all time. He is actually pointing his way in. He doesn't even need the Daytona win as of right now because he has pointed his way into the playoffs. Joe Bob Purdue, yep, what a mess. Talking about the street race. The Chevy is just fine in today's race, says Joseph Wooten. I think so, too. I think they just trimmed it out to be better in race trim. They didn't worry about qualifying as much. And Aldis's fix for the All-Star race. Here's how I'd fix it. It says Friday, a burnout competition. I like that idea. Pit competition as well on that Friday. Saturday would be the All-Star Open, 2 30-lap segments. I like that. I like the strategy on that one. I don't know if I like it being a separate day than the actual All-Star race, but I understand where you're going with it there. And then Sunday, you've got the actual All-Star race. So I do like that. The only thing I might tweak, I might still keep the races on the exact same day because it's going to be really hard to sell that ticket just for the All-Star Open. That's my only thought process on that one, but I could be totally wrong. Either way, I like your format either way, and if I made any tweak to it at all, that would be the tweak. But I do like that you're filling each day with some racing there, so I support it. I just worry about selling that ticket on a Saturday for an All-Star Open. Joe Bob Purdue says, Stupid Roofer, if they do a street race, it should be Long Beach. Long Beach has to be in the conversation. Toronto has to be in the conversation. And Miami has to be in the conversation. And Joe Bob, he puts Miami down here later. Don't discount Mexico City and Toronto also as places they could go. Mark Wachowski says, when you're pushing 200 miles per hour and you get out of shape, then you get hit, chances are you're going in the air. That's 100% accurate. especially with the underbody stuff they got now. The underbody is made for downforce, so it's trying to put more air underneath the car faster to suck the car down to get downforce. But once you get air under it, I mean, once you get you get it tilted at an angle, it works the exact opposite way in some situations, depending on your angle. So we could see. I'm just hoping we don't see him flip, but I'm with you. I mean, at those speeds, it's almost too much to ask for him not to. Camaro 50, I have errands to do before the race, so I have to get off. Hope it's a good one. Appreciate it, Camaro 50. Matt Hunter says, finally, for Gibbs, eventually line up. Sammy Smith brings back the 18 after Truex retires. Corey Haim succeeds Denny Hamlin. Nemechek lands at Denny's team, possibly running his dad's 01. Yeah, I'm with you. I think John Hunter Nemechek definitely ends up at 23-11 if they can get an extra seat over there. Isn't Austin Hill driving today? Austin Hill is driving today, and we know he is really good. I think he's driving. I'm pretty sure he's driving. And we know he's really good at super speedways, so hopefully he doesn't get caught in a big wreck like he did yesterday. Aldis has a continuation Sunday, All-Star, 4 segments. 140 lap, segment 2, 30 laps, segment 3, 20 laps, segment 4, 10 laps. So there you go, a little 10-lap shootout for the win in the All-Star. Leon's Automotive, our Arizona drivers, who finished best, McDriver, JJ, or Bowman? That's a good question, man. I'm going, I hate to pick a bit. Bowman, I feel like, just has bad luck at these tracks. If Bowman can finish the race, Bowman is going to get the best finish. But for whatever reason, Michael McDowell, and I probably just cursed Michael McDowell here, Michael McDowell is probably going to be the better finisher out of them. JJ Yaley, I don't feel like he has the best equipment to even get it done. But I think he is a good plate racer. Aldis says the All-Star race will be after the season in the North Carolina area. So there you go. He would have the All-Star race after the season, sort of like how the NFL has it after the playoffs as the in-between week for the Super Bowl. That would be something. Have the All-Star race, have an off week before the championship race, and make that the All-Star race. That would be pretty cool. Truex says Matt Hunter. Robin Mark says, howdy from Kazakhstan. Y'all, miserable mood, spit and vinegar. So with my mood, I'm going with Kyle Busch, and Austin will push him. I love Ross, but he's going to flip. Yeah, so Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon's another one here. I know I'm on the Austin Dillon train all the time. This is another track where Austin Dillon, he's really good. He's really good at super speedways. If he pushes Kyle Busch, if they work like they were working in the Busch Clash, if they work together like that, I could see something happening for sure. They were actually working pretty good at Daytona too. I love Ross, but he's going to flip. That's possibly a good. There's a good chance on that. He even said in the interview he probably used up all of his good luck last year at Talladega, and he expects all the bad luck to be paid back here pretty soon. Yeah, he might be the one that causes the big wreck or is in the big wreck. What if RFK did? What RFK did to Stenhouse? Stenhouse was wrong taking his pit crew. He won the Daytona with, says T-Van. So yeah, Brad Keselowski came out and did a little bit of damage control on that. He said we've been swapping sort of crew members there. Teammates all season. Nobody complained last week when we had a different gas man in there and all this other stuff. That being said, it just goes to show that your strategy of having somebody else field your pit crew is a poor strategy. Because even if you remember back in the day when Martin Truex Jr. was running for the championship, and he won the championship eventually, but remember when they got into that sort of argument on pit road with Adam Stevens, Kyle Busch's crew chief, and Joe Gibbs just being good old fair, Joe Gibbs, he pulled 2 of Martin Truex Jr.'s crew members because they got aggressive with Adam Stevens. But Adam Stevens was still at the racetrack. He pulled Cowboy and somebody else off of Truex's team. But he left Adam Stevens to crew chief for Kyle Busch. So I always thought that was bullshit. So that's just the way it is. And that's the problem when you have somebody else fielding your pit crew. They can do whatever they want to. They can give you whatever pit crew they want to that day. So at the end of the day, I don't see it being necessarily a winning strategy because at the end of the day, if I'm fielding your pit crew and we're in the Final Four, guess what? I'm giving you the crappiest pit crew I can give you because guess what? I want to win, and I'm not worried about your feelings. So that's just the way it's going to go. And I don't see why any competitive person in the Cup Series doesn't see it that way. I feel like it's always been a bad idea. NASCAR just needs to make a rule against it because to me, it's never going to work out good for the person renting the pit crew. But that's just my rant on that. Hot Rod Shorts, good morning from the West Coast. I've been to Dega. It's an amazing experience in person. Going back one day, it's on my list, man. That's one I got to get to before it's said and done here. So I might just have to make a special trip for it next year. Might have to forego one of the Martinsville races as bad as it would hurt me and save that money and go to Talladega with it. Dr. Moretz says, if it does turn into a demo derby, I keep an eye on the 3. He can avoid trouble. Austin has a way on capitalizing and surviving the chaos. That's exactly what I was referring to earlier. You're dead on the money with that one. He's one of those drivers who just figures out, even when he gets hit, he doesn't take the full brunt of the hit. So for whatever reason, he typically, more times than not, finishes this race, and that's why his average finish is so good here. Thanks, Camara 50. Have a good one, says Roofer. Joshua Jenkins, what's up, BB? Go 43. I think this is going to be, hopefully, one of the races where the 43 car can maybe get a win here. They've had a terrible start to the season and all kinds of reasons for that, but we'll have to see what happens. Alda says, here's where to hold the All-Star race, Charlotte Dirt Track, Hickory, Orange County Speedway. Orange County is going to need a lot of work, brother. Hickory Motor Speedway, Bank of America Stadium, American Legion Memorial Stadium, Truist Stadium, Bowman Gray. Yeah, so if you want to do sort of the Busch Clash All-Star race type situation, some of those tracks would be definitely good places to have them. If they can build a track at anywhere else, they can definitely fix Hickory in Orange County to hold the type of people, the amount of people that they would need to hold there. Mark Barnum, suck Tony Behringer. Got dumped by our teammate Gustine. I've never liked that guy. Yeah, that's just that's ARCA crap, right? Like that's some of the stuff you just sort of got to deal with at that level. Alda says it's time NASCAR have a dirt races for both the Bud Shootout and the All-Star race. I'm for that as long as it's an exhibition race and they race a different type of car. That way they get aggressive with it, just going for the win. And as long as it's an exhibition race, I feel like that would be good. So as long as they're exhibition races, the dirt race will be a good idea, especially if it's at an actual dirt track. Bumblebee says, I'm not a fan of NASCAR line about saying they want innovation, then jumping teams when they make the least little effort to be different. I'm with you. They always tout innovation. Oh, innovation. Then you modify a part within spec. And they toss you out for it. It's happened to RFK. It's happened to Hendrick. It's happened just about I feel like by the end of this season, everybody's going to get hit with something. We're Penske to get hit with one, right? It happened to Petty GMS last year. So Penske, who is it? Penske is one that's not been hit with one, and I don't know for sure that Stewart Haas Racing has been hit with one yet. So we're waiting on those two. Those are the only two big teams off the top of my head I can think of that haven't been hit. Has 2311 been hit with one yet? I don't know if 2311's been hit with one yet. Bring back Road America on the 4th of July weekend. I think that would be good. I would include Ross Chastain list of causing big wrecks. LOL, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. I left him off. Like I said, I'm doing this on the fly. But yeah, he's another guy. I mean, nobody drives more aggressive than Ross Chastain. Let's just keep it real. And some people like it. Some people hate it. Yeah, 100% Ross Chastain has to be on that list. For the plate package, NASCAR needs a combination of 2000s plate package and tandem drafting. Yeah, I don't know why they went away from the tandem draft. Even in the Xfinity series, I feel like the tandem draft was one of the more fun things for fans to see. All-Star race is fine. I like it like it is this year, thanks to Junior. Yeah, so I like your comment there, Bumblebee. We'll have to see how Junior's version of the All-Star race plays out format-wise. So that definitely, I think it's going to work out. Ryan Fussner, I'm pretty sure Hendrick is playing at Chill this weekend. Let's be honest. Super Speedway races are a roll of the dice and not worth it push while you're under a microscope from NASCAR. Hey, that's a good point. That is a good point. This is one of those races where, hey, you know what? We're just gonna give up the speed here, and we're just gonna hang around until the end and let everybody wreck out, and then at the end we'll push it and see what we got. Hopefully our cars will just be more clean than everybody else's, and we'll have an aero advantage that way. I could see that being completely their strategy. You just don't push anything at all here because it's not necessarily worth it. They need to cancel that Chicago street race, says T-Van. A lot of people feel like that. And I mean, if it doesn't get any better over there, if they don't make any effort, because I mean, at this point, they're actually doing bad things to tourists that are there. Like tourists are being targeted. At least last week or two weeks ago, they were. So, I mean, if stuff like that continues to go on, you got a fair enough argument just to take it to Chicagoland. It is what it is. I just opened a NASCAR website. They have a big picture of Ty Gibbs saying he might win. Okay, whatever. Spit and vinegar. I mean, Ty Gibbs, his one race here last year, he didn't do very well. I don't know how well he drove in the Xfinity Series drafting, but the Xfinity Series drafting is totally different from this type of drafting. So he would be somebody. He's going to have to be a pusher, in my opinion. I don't think when you see that yellow stripe on the back of somebody's bumper, typically they're not going to get pushed. So him and Noah Gragson are going to have to be pushers for this race. RFK taking Stenhouse, pit crew sucks. Your thoughts, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. Like I said, the problem is they're renting a pit crew from RFK. To me, that's the problem. That's field your own pit crew. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you're in the Final Four, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the same thing again. So I've never understood the rent a pit crew situation if you're a championship contender. Now, if you're a team just trying to build up and work your way up, you don't think you're going to be in the championship hunt, maybe it's a good option then. But I still don't like it. It is what it is, though. I guess it saves money for them or something. I don't know. William Thomas, it would be nice to see these. It saves them money and it saves them a chance of winning a championship. That's what it saves them. It would be nice to see these race cars, like the cars they raced in the 2010 race they had on Friday night. Yeah, like the tandem racing is something I think a lot of people want to see. Alda says NASCAR needs to get rid of the Chicago street course and move back to Chicagoland or Road America. Yeah, I think I think a lot of people feel that way as well. Bumblebee says, T-Van, I believe that'll be what ends up happening. William Wagaman, you can't put Joey Logano in there because the big wreck, because he is still at the barbershop getting his haircut. Laughing out loud, says William Wagman. Well, whatever they did, his hair looks good, in my opinion. So it is what it is. If those are plugs, they're some of the best plugs I've ever seen in my life. They did a great job. Mark Barnum Jr. needs to sit his Xfinity team down. He's got more hair now than he's ever had, in my opinion. For a serious talk about their driving, yeah, they got to stop wrecking each other. Robin Mark says, hit that like button. Come on, don't be lazy. I appreciate it. If you want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. Sonoma and the Glen. No street courses. I could be down with proper road courses. I don't know that I'm necessarily. I'm going to have to see a street course before I can actually give a definitive answer. But typically in IndyCar and stuff like that, when I've seen street course races, they haven't been great. Go Byron. Hope he wins today, says JD Mayo. Glad that Perkins was safe after that flip yesterday. Yeah, I'm glad everybody after all those hits yesterday were safe because there were some crazy wrecks for sure. I think NASCAR needs to I watched the highlights. I didn't get to see the race. I think NASCAR needs to set up a midweek series with 5 to 8 races on dirt and maybe 30 drivers from the top 3 series in NASCAR and have them race and see if we get a good reaction. Yeah, so that's one thing they could do. Just have like sort of maybe 3 or 4 exhibition type races and see what happens with it at actual dirt tracks. I think that would be a big deal. William Wagaman says, put NASCAR Chicago at Soldier Field. They raced there before 1947. It will be their 75th year. Chicago is in an uproar because of this new mayor. NASCAR should get out of it while they got a chance. There was some like reason they couldn't do it because I guess Soldier Field is a historical monument. It's some political reason or infrastructure reason why they can't pave Soldier Field like they did the LA Coliseum. I remember reading something about it, but I can't remember exactly what the issue was. Honestly speaking, I think if Texas Motor Speedway was built for IndyCar and not NASCAR, even with the reconfiguration 1 and 2, IndyCar and TMS is still awesome. Yeah, but I think they're totally going to do something different with it here going forward and use the Cup Series cars, says Mike Mesner. So there you go. He wants to use the actual Cup Series cars at those exhibition races. I would lean toward using a dirt late model, but whatever works, I guess. Happy day, y'all. Jenna Allison, what's up, Jenna? Hope you're doing good today. Bumblebee says, I wish people realize flipping a race car is basically the best way to wreck it. I'd rather roll it than hit a wall at 150. 100%. That's accurate. They say on what is it? Top Gear. Jeremy Clarkson always had the famous thing where he says, speed has never deleted anybody. Suddenly stopping has. And that's the problem. Suddenly stopping is the issue because all that momentum and force has to go somewhere. So actually when you're flipping and rolling, you're dissipating that energy. Same to you, Jenna, says Roofer. Beard Motorsports is a dark horse for the win. They always feel extremely fast. The 62 Chevrolet ZL1 for these super speedways have the super speedway merchant himself Austin Hill. So there you go. That's a fact. I hadn't even thought about the fact that Beard Motor Oil, their car is always fast. So and then you got Austin Hill in it. They're definitely going to be a factor if they keep that thing clean. Elaine says, "Is NASCAR or Fox in charge of cameras?" I think it's Fox, and their work has been terrible. There seems to be more bumper cams than operator cameras where they can see the action. I'm with you. Their camera work has been atrocious this season. And I don't know if they're doing it to renegotiate a better contract by tanking their current numbers so they can renegotiate for a better contract. But Mike Joy has been hamstrung all season with the camera work. And so Mike Joy is doing the best he can do. But that camera work has been awful, in my opinion. Aldis, bring back the Daytona on the 4th of July. I would like that myself. But have it on a Saturday, 11 a.m., and have Talladega as the cutoff race instead of Daytona on the road course and call it the Firecracker 300. I was with you to the road course. I like my Daytona plate tracks. I do like the Daytona road course, but I like the plate tracks just a little bit better. If it was any other track, I'll probably agree with you there. Jenna, I made a bold prediction at the beginning of the season. Rowdy is going to get 8 wins, says Roofer, and he didn't say how many series he was going to have to go through to get those 8 wins. So I think Kyle Busch is going to get quite a few wins this season. I don't think it's just going to be the one he's got so far. I'm going to be honest. I'm off the height trimming Busch. Kyle Busch has been really ice cold these past few races since Auto Club. He has not been that good. So 8 races is probably not happening. Sorry. Well, he's already got 2 if you count the Truck Series or Xfinity Series or whatever. So across the series, I think he gets 8, and I think he gets quite a few. I think he's going to get several with RCR this season. Roofer, you are a wise one, says Jenna Allison. Jose Rodriguez, hi, BB, just a shout out against Pack Racing. Yesterday was a wreck fest. Bring back the Tandem. I'm with you, Jose. The Tandem racing was 100% better than what we've got now. Everybody loved the Tandem racing. I don't know why they ever got rid of it. I never understood why they got rid of the Tandem racing, especially when you had the 2 drivers that could communicate with each other. They could actually talk to each other in the car. That was the coolest thing in NASCAR. It was even the best video game, in my opinion, that they ever made. The EA Sports Total Team Control NASCAR, that was always my favorite NASCAR video game. Close second was when you could race on the beach at Daytona, but I think you had the beach at Daytona in that one as well. I'm sorry, Roofer, but I don't think 8 wins is going to happen without Ice Cold. He's been so far since Auto Club. He has not been good. He's been kind of mediocre. Mark Langren says, yes, Ra. Not without, yes to Road America. With, not without, says Moulton. Aldis says, BB, here's where to hold the Bud Shootout, Orlando Citrus Bowl, Daytona Backstretch, Daytona Beach Stadium, Volusia County Speedway. Volusia County Speedway would be huge. Or New Smyrna. I think those would be, those would probably be two of your better sellers right there. The other ones are good too, but Volusia County and New Smyrna, they just have so much tradition behind them that I think if you put any type of cup car on that track, it would be just historic, like how amazing like the reaction would be. That's what I was looking for. The reaction from the fans would be, especially around there. I'm sticking with it, Moulton. I know it's a bold prediction. LOL, says Roofer. Bring back tandem drafting. At least we got close finishes and only small wrecks. Yeah, it fixed a lot of problems. I'm with you, Jose. The tandem draft is something we need to bring back, in my opinion. They need to just not worry about the big pack racing. The tandem draft was where it was at, in my opinion. What's the penalty going to be today? Press 1 for arrow, press 2 for race manipulation, press 3 for actions detrimental, press 4 for yellow line, press 5 for unapproved parts, press 6 for English. So there you go. Greg Brown asking which is going to be the thing. Press 5 for unapproved parts. Roofer is going with unapproved parts here. My audio is breaking up. My internet is terrible, so I can't do anything about that. Jenna Allison is going Rowdy for the win here. Sammy D's Customs. I hope all is well. Hating it for Junior Motorsports this year. Junior Motorsports has definitely been off to a bad start. Here's my criteria to enter the All-Star race. Winners of races before the World 600, winner, fan vote winner, past champions, all-star winners, 24 cars in the field. So I like the 24 number. And however you get them in there, it's all good to me. This is anybody's race to win, says Nathan Urich. I think so too. It always is. And there's always guys that figure out a way to finish this race, so you always have to lean toward them. That's why I'm saying like Austin Dillons, Eric Joneses of the world. They figure out ways to finish these races. An update from the Perkins family. Blaine is alert, in good spirits, and continues to be observed at the local hospital. We appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers, says Molten Rage. So he is good. Ty Dillon for the win, says Justin M. Ty Dillon on Earth 2 definitely has this locked. On Earth 1, this is actually a good Ty Dillon track as well. So no doubt about it. Dr. Moret says, as a Larson fan, I hope his recent trend of winning at tracks he's not best at continues today. Oh, that would be cool. Like if he can win Martinsville and a plate race, any plate race in the same season, you have to consider that a great season for Kyle Larson, because there definitely is worse tracks. The pole speed for today's race is only 180 miles per hour. There will be a lot of pushing and wrecking, says Nicole Wembley. I agree with you 100%. The more you slow these cars down, the tighter they're going to be bunched together. So I don't know. NASCAR seems to be dead set on it, though. Molten, thank you for the update, says Jenna Allison. Dennis Gillespie says, aloha from the Big Island. What's up, Dennis Gillespie? What's up, Hawaii? Aldous says, and here's my criteria to enter the Bud Shootout: past season pole winners, past Bud Shootout winners, past champions, and 18 cars in the field. Yeah, I like about 18 or 20 cars in the Bud Shootout as well. And actually, Dennis, I don't know if you live on the Big Island or not, but what's up, Hawaii? Either way. Mark Barnum says Ty Dillon and BJ McLeod for a photo finish for the last place. I don't know. I feel like we can get JJ Yaley in the mix there too. So it might be maybe like a 3-wide photo finish there, Mark Barnum. But I like where you're going there. Ty Dillon and BJ McLeod are definitely going to be neck and neck for the end in Earth 2, no doubt about it. Ryan Fussner, BB, I grew up the next county over from Talladega and went several times. You have to go. It's an experience. I always like the fall race for whatever reason. So there you go. The fall race might still be in the cards. Just scrounge up some money, start saving now. Get it figured out for that one if I can get tickets. Mark Langren with the thumbs up. Dega Day, says Finn Larson. Yeah. How many times has people played Eric Church this week? The Talladega song from Eric Church. I bet it's been played millions of times. I know I've played it 4 or 5 times myself. Yeah, Talladega is always a fun event. Mark Langren knows Chicago street race. William Tyre, a total nobody usually wins Talladega. Usually it's a race of luck. I mean, sometimes it is, and then sometimes you'll see somebody like Denny Hamlin who's really good at plate tracks. I'd say it's probably like 50-50. It's just like every other plate race, 50-50. No Chi-Town, says Finn. I think a lot of people are starting to lean toward that way, especially after, tourists started getting attacked and stuff like that. That's got to be a big red flag to everybody. Today's race winner is a throw of the dice, says Mark Langren. Jenna Allison agreed. No Chicago race. Exactly, Mark. Says William Tyre. Joshua Jenkins, not I. Let's see here. NASCAR, Aldous says, NASCAR needs to fix the car as soon as possible, bring back steel bodies and use – they're not bringing back steel bodies. They're married to the components of the next-gen safety features, but keep the symmetrical body. I don't think they're ever going to bring back the steel bodies, though, because they're on this save money kick. Fox sucks this season for sure, says Jenna Allison. So their camera work has been off-putting, to say the least. Sonny V, scrubbing off speed, definitely much better than sudden stops. Yeah, 100%. Matt Hunter, Bristol Dirt should be the all-star venue on Sunday night, prior weekend to the 600. That would be pretty cool. Molten says, I'm going to be honest. What is happening with Kyle Busch after Auto Club? People said he is on fire, but since Auto Club, he has not been as great as people were expecting. He's been again time of mediocre. I don't know. It hasn't been quite as bad as you're making it out. He was definitely bad at Martinsville, but he's had speed at the other tracks. Just hasn't had the finishes. Cassandra Keller says, hi from Coeur d'Alene. I can't drive 55, but I will be 55 tomorrow. So happy birthday, Cassandra. And what's up, Coeur d'Alene? What's up, Idaho? Brent Dilberg. I'm late to the party, but so I'm sorry if there's already been brought up. But Brad K did a presser talking about the pit crew swap, and he noted that it's been made several changes. It's nothing new. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't blame RFK in that situation. I blame JTG because as long as you're renting a pit crew, let's say you get to the Final Four. This was the argument I made. I'm making a shorter version of it. If you get to the Final Four, if I'm RFK, I'm pulling all the good people and I'm taking them and I'm giving you what's left over, because at the end of the day, I'm worried about me winning. I'm not worried about you continuing to rent a pit crew. So I've always thought that it's not a winning strategy. You save yourself some money in the short term, but you also save yourself from winning a championship potentially, because they're going to give you the crappiest crew if you're both in the Final Four. Leon's Automotive, and I might be totally wrong, but that's just the way I feel about it. Gregson will be higher, finishing LMC ride today. He was running top 10 in both his 500s before the wreck. ATL, he was strong. I think he'll be a good underdog. I'm with you, Leon's Automotive. I think he'll be a good underdog too, as well. But like I said, he's got that yellow stripe on the back, so he's going to have to be a pusher for most of this race. And then hopefully at the end of the race, he can get one of his teammates to work with him, or, just another Chevrolet guy, or just somebody that likes him to work with him. I like Stenhouse for the win, continuing the strong run this season, says Jay Campbell. I mean, you can never count Ricky. He proved it at Daytona. You can never count Ricky Stenhouse out of a plate race or any race, as long as he doesn't, have trouble or get in a wreck. Joshua Jenkins, NBC has better NASCAR coverage than Fox. There's no doubt. Right now, I'll have to give you agreement with that. Like I said, it's so bad at Fox that I feel like it's almost intentional. Mark Langer says, happy birthday to Cassandra tomorrow. Amen to that, Joshua. Brent Dilberg says, also noting that they run data when building pit crews, and the 47 should be thanking him, not trying to shame him. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can't shame him, right? Because your team owner has made that decision, right? Now, I don't necessarily agree with that decision. I never thought it was a good idea. And the point I go to is back to the Joe Gibbs deal, when Cowboy and what's-his-face got in Adam Stevens' face. Well, Joe Gibbs, because Martin Truex was driving for Furniture Row at the time, Joe Gibbs was fielding that pit crew for Furniture Row. He decided he would suspend Cowboy and the other guy for getting in Adam Stevens' face. But Adam Stevens did not get suspended when it came Final Four time. Now, Martin Truex Jr. ended up winning the championship anyway. But at the end of the day, Joe Gibbs Racing, whoever made that decision, you can't tell me that leaving Adam Stevens on your organization and taking away two pit crew members from Front Row Motorsports, you can't tell me that was not somewhat competitively led, regardless of how you felt about their actions. So that's where I've always stood on somebody else fielding your pit crew. That if they want to, they can mess you over. So I've never been a big fan of it. Not saying that's what RFK is doing. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you're gonna put yourself in that situation. Cassandra Keller, happy birthday, says Jenna Allison. Tandem had big wrecks too, though. LOL. Yeah, but they typically they were smaller though. But every once in a while they would have the big one as well. I'm with you, Bumblebee. I remember. But it was a lot more smaller wrecks just because it was two cars at a time. Stupid Roofer saying, what's up to Cassandra Keller. Hey, Mark, Stupid Roofer, Robin, Bumblebee, and BB. Appreciate it. Let's see. John Ray says, what a terrible outcome on Saturday for the junior motor. Yeah, it's been a terrible season for them. They just keep getting in trouble and wrecking themselves and just sort of taking themselves out of contention. Fox's downfall is them trying to use multiple people in the third spot. They lose the ability to learn each other and complement each other's flow. I agree with that too. There's been a lot of problems with Fox this season, and that's why I say it's almost intentional that they're trying to lower the value of the product so they can renegotiate a cheaper contract on the next TV deal. Sonny V says, but NBC coverage, I've got to mute those screams in the booth and sync MRN, PRN. That's sort of where I'm at. Neither one of them are great right now, and that's like we're arguing over who's the least worst, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, and it is what it is. Mike Mesner, Fox needs to take and figure out how to do a picture-in-picture and set it to where they can have the big picture for the main race and the smaller one as a battle cam for mid-pack racing. I agree with you 100%. Going back to the Martinsville race, not all of the good racing in the back of the pack was for first place or even for a top 10, but there was good racing at the back of the pack. So you could have a split cam where you just show continuously when there are sort of doldrums in the race, where you could continuously at least show the best battle in the pack. I think Riley Herbst will be there at the end, says T-Van. 2010 to 2012, Tandem was fantastic. So there you go. Riley Herbst, definitely a good plate racer, by the way. He does not get enough respect. Like, yeah, he doesn't win a ton of races, but that guy has gotten better and better every single season. So I don't know. He's not quite as bad as people make him out to be. Was fantastic, says Super Roofer, talking about the tandem racing. Adventures in Plush Toy City, the series sportscast. I hope the 34 gets a win today. It's definitely his type of track, so it's going to be one of his better bets this season. Molten Rage, I still don't like tandem drafting. Like I said, it's extremely cheap shot. You could win a race just because the guy behind you is overheating. It's such a cheap shot that the deserving car doesn't win. To take it as far as super speedway racing, take it back to Clint Eastwood and Unforgiven. Deserves got nothing to do with it at a super speedway. Joshua Jenkins, I would give Corey LaJoy a good shot at winning today. He has ran a lot better this year. Yeah, Corey LaJoy, he's starting to get some haters. How about that? BB got that Walmart Wi-Fi. I got that CenturyLink Wi-Fi, which is even worse than Walmart Wi-Fi. Mark Langer saying press 2 on the options given for what NASCAR is going to penalize today. Taking the old goat car 14, says Cassandra Keller. So yeah, check out the number 14. Got the old goat Tony Stewart on the hood of that one, so that's pretty fun for Chase Briscoe. Mark Langren's going with AJ. Nicole Wembley, Blaine Perkins was transported yesterday to the hospital for further observation. The driver of the O2 Ollie sponsored car that barrel rolled down the super stretch yesterday. Yep. And he is okay. He is alert and responsive. We got an update on that a little bit earlier in the live stream from Moulton. First penalty to Michael Waltrip's stupid flipping pre-race pit walk or whatever you call it. So there you go. Jenna Allison throwing the penalty on the Michael Waltrip pit walk. Corey LaJoy for the win, says Mark Martin fan for life. Yeah, look, if Corey LaJoy wins this race, that's going to be huge for him, huge for that organization. They've done a lot better this season for sure. William Thomas, I think it's a mess up on the NASCAR's part that the Xfinity cars are faster than the Cup cars. I agree with you, William, 100%. Moulton says, bring back Running Down a Dream as a NASCAR's theme song, please. That would be cool. And they had some good promos with that too. Watch Lunch and Lindsay podcast with Chase and Church on it. It's on YouTube, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, somebody told me about that. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. It did pop up on my feed though, so I'm going to give it a watch when I get a chance. Molten Rage, I love that song. Says Jenna Allison, throwing the rock star thumb. What is that? Whatever that is, the rock star thing. Aldous Devil's Horns is what a lot of people call it, so I don't want to take it that far. Aldous says NASCAR for NBC and USA, and the other deal with either ESPN or ABC or CBS or TBS. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, and there's also going to be a streaming aspect to it, so we'll have to see what happens there. How about Smoke winning a Wally? That was pretty cool too, Mark. He has now won in drag racing cars, open wheel cars, sports cars, NASCARs, and dirt cars. So I mean, that guy, I don't know if there's going to be too many that just have his resume ever of all time. Love the side ticker that NASCAR uses for their YouTube channel. It's better than Fox's side ticker. Hey, there you go. I agree with you there on that one. Sven Larson, I can't see NBC coverage to be any better. I'm with you, Sven. I'm with you. I feel like it's just a worse option and an even worse option. Like there's a bad option and a worse option, I guess I should say. Jenna Allison says Smoke is the GOAT. Mark Langren finally can see green in the land of the frozen chosen. Yeah, I'm glad the snow's gone for you up there. I hated the yellow stripe on my car, but it was fun when finishing up front. Yeah, no doubt about it. Talking about his yellow rookie stripe. Mark Wachowski, a tire changer can change a race for the good or the bad. That's 100% accurate. 100% accurate. Any of them, if they make a mistake, can change it for the bad, right? So, Molten Rage. It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down. Had the radio on. I'm not gonna talk through the lyrics, but there you go. Molten Rage with the opening lyrics to the Tom Petty song that's been covered by several people for the NASCAR intro on NBC. Cassandra Keller saying, "Hey Jenna, Aldous says Michael Waltrip is bad for NASCAR broadcasts. He just sucks up too much of NASCAR and sucks up too much to the NASCAR and its executives." Mark Langer saying Michael Waltrip is a joke. Well, you might not like him on TV, but I'll tell you what, he was pretty cool when I met him in person, so I'll give him that. If you meet him in person, he's pretty cool to talk to. He's a lot different than you see him on. I'm not gonna say totally different. He's a lot different than you see him on TV. He's just like sort of a laid back, chill guy. He'll sort of talk to anybody. Different. Maybe if he used that persona on TV, he would win over the crowd a little bit better. Was at Dega for the first Tandem draft race. He almost plays like a character on TV, in my opinion. Harvick just nicked Jamie Mack at the line. That was a good race too. Like back in the day, Kevin Harvick was an absolute demon on these super speedways. He seems to not care about it as much anymore. But because it's his last season, it wouldn't surprise me to see him get a couple wins here. Maybe on super speedways. That race yesterday was a joke, says Donnie Love. Yeah, a lot of wrecks. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it because it was a crash fest. So you sort of see both ends of the spectrum. I used to like Michael Waltrip. He's an embarrassment now, says Roofer. Brent Dilberg, Jamie Little has been doing some announcing. It's worth noting she's significantly better than Dana Crash behind a mic, says Brent Dilberg. Yeah, Jamie Little's good. She puts in the time. She puts in the work. Everything she does is usually pretty spot on. So I have nothing negative to say about Jamie Little. NASCAR for both networks should do what TNT did years ago, have wide open coverage for commercials instead of side by side, says Aldous. I wish they would. I wish they would just get rid of commercials, but it is what it is. Greg Brown joke, but I was annoyed, not laughing. I got you. Escobar, JRM can't get out of each other's way. Yeah, they keep running over each other. They got to stop that. Brad K never gets love at Dega, but I guess you missed the very beginning of it. I was picking Brad Keselowski. He's got to be one of your favorites here, but never gets any love. But the guys won 6 of them. Clearly, he's figured something out. If he hadn't got popped for speeding twice last year, might have had 7 dudes good at fast tracks. Yeah, for sure. Everyone hit the like button, help BB out. Yeah, so if you want to hit the like button, it would be appreciated. What happened to the cameraman at Hickory? Is he okay? He is okay. He just, I think he got shaken up. Hopefully his camera's okay too, because those things are not cheap as well. But he got up. He was okay for sure. I got the 1, the 8 for the win, says Lost Knowledge. Those are 2 good picks. Not necessarily by the numbers good picks, but it's a super speedway, and both of those cars always have speed. The RCR cars always have speed, and Trackhouse always has speed. As super speedways, as long as they don't get in wrecks, which is a big if, because both of them, unfortunately, have bad luck at these tracks and tend to get in big wrecks. Not bad picks there. Jen Allison says, P.S. Ronnie James Dio once said he invented this. Hey, so there you go. Time for him to this, in case you can't see the chat, is what we're talking about, is what Ronnie James Dio said he invented. Time for him to run Trans Am for Tony, says Mark Langren. Hey, there you go. Tony and Trans Am. He needs to just go out and check off all the boxes, right? Mark Wachowski says, why doesn't NASCAR give women a Powder Puff series? They could show their talent in a fair way. Somebody's got a all women's racing league. I can't remember. I think it's either F1 or IndyCar, maybe. So somebody has one out there somewhere. Swam a mile this morning, feeling 35, says Cassandra Keller. Oh, good on you. I couldn't swim a mile now, ever. Leon's Automotive, highest finishing young gun, Cindric, Gregson, Gibbs, Z, Zane Smith, Austin Hill, Z Smith, Austin Hill, Gilliland, Burton, Haley, or Herbst. I'm going with 36. If Cindric doesn't wreck, I'll go with Cindric. If Gregson doesn't wreck, I'll go with Gregson. If Gibbs doesn't wreck, I'll go with Gibbs. But I have a feeling that most of these guys are going to wreck. I'm going with Todd Gilliland there, so I'm going with the 36 as well. Yeah, I'm with you there, Leon's Automotive. Gene Simmons also claimed he invented it. Hey, so there you go. Gene Simmons also claiming he invented it. Larson won at Eldora this week. There you go. Another week, another Kyle Larson win. So there you go. He's technically back-to-backed it, right? So Martinsville and Eldora. Can he pull off the triple and get a Talladega win? Y'all want to hate on Mikey? He's a great person. Yeah, he's been as far as the one time I met him at South Boston, he was super cool, super nice. So I don't know. Maybe might not like his personality, but if you meet him in person, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how nice he is to talk to. Also, give credit where it's due. Fox's qualifying booth with fun year like BJ McLeod. Yeah, I did want to say something about that, Molten. They had BJ McLeod in the booth for qualifying, and I thought that was really cool. It was really cool to hear BJ McLeod's perspective on some things. And I wish they would get more guys that you don't see every weekend. guys that don't get any press. I would like to see them in the booth as well, not just the superstars, because this sport's all about telling a story. All sports are about telling a story as far as when the sport's not actually on the track. So I would like to hear from the other guys as well. I see the Wood brothers dropping Burton, says Mark Barnum. It definitely could happen. Bob Pockris has hinted at that. Bob Pockris wouldn't say the things he said if he hadn't heard something. He hasn't made it official or anything like that. But he has added that Harrison Burton possibly could get dropped in one of his tweets. Honestly, I'm just going to say this. Can we petition BJ McLeod to be in the booth? What races he not? The races he's not going to be behind the 78 car. Please brings great personality and insight as an owner. I'd be okay with that. I feel like Todd may end up in the 21. Todd Gilliland in the 21 would be a good day, in my opinion. He brings sponsorship, and he's definitely a good driver. He's got this car figured out. Harrison Burton, I still believe in, but he probably needs to go back down to an Xfinity Series and get a little more seasoning, unless he breaks out midway through this year or something like that. TV has them play characters. Michael isn't like that at all, and Clint Boyer is a total jerk in the dirt late model world anyway, says Red Frog. Yeah, I'm with you. What you see from Michael Waltrip is definitely a character. He's a lot more laid back and chill in person, or at least the time I met him at South Boston is all I can speak for. Jenna Allison says, I reckon today will be a crash fest. I hope not. I think they're going to be boring for one stage, and then I think one stage they're going to be going for it and dicey. And then they'll probably ride around until the very end in the last stage. How many cars left? Maybe 10. That's a good question. I think we'll probably have about 31 cars finish this race, and probably 26 of them won't be damaged. Yeah, Michael Waltrip turns it on during the pit walk, but he doesn't bother me and makes me laugh occasionally, says Sonny V. Bumblebee says 5 cars ended the Xfinity Series race without damage. So if we're going completely without damage, I'll probably go 17 or 18. That is completely clean with no damage. I hope everyone makes it out of today's race safely, says William Tyer. That's always the first and foremost concern. I agree with you, William Tyer. Molten Rage says, I love how people said Joe Gibbs Racing will be on the decline this year, but they have been the second best organization in Xfinity in the Cup Series. They're barely worse than Hendrick and RCR and Xfinity. And look, Kyle Busch has the exact same amount of wins as Joe Gibbs Racing, so they're both doing good. I think we can all agree on that. Wood Brothers deserve better, says Cassandra Keller. Yeah, Todd Gilliland definitely would be as far as performance on track that we've seen, I think Todd Gilliland has been the better driver over Harrison Burton, so I think that would be an upgrade if that happened. Wood Brothers should have kept Matt DiBenedetto. Yeah, unfortunately, the way he went scorched earth on the way out, I don't know that they'll ever bring him back. But yeah, Joshua Jenkins, he got better results for sure. I'm on rage, but they went with Harrison Burton because it kept the doors open. He brought sponsors. It keeps the doors open for them. They kept all their employees. So there's that aspect of it too. I don't know. It's not like they have Denny, Martin, and Bell, LOL, says Red Frog. Mark Wachowski says, walked a mile for Camel. I feel like I'm 95. Says Mark Wachowski, I got you, buddy. Tony is going to drive for a funny car next year. If he moved up to funny car, that would be huge, man. That's a big jump in competition, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not an expert in drag racing. Let's see. Formula 2 cars in Europe, but it's a joke, says Mark Langren, talking about the Powder Puff League. Jenna Allison, I can tread on water for an hour. I can I don't know. I could probably go a mile on water if it was frozen and I was on like a snowmobile. That would be my best bet. What's up? Dropping in from Talladega to say Denny sucks, says Josh Strickland. So there you go, Josh Strickland. The streak continues with Denny sucks. I hope you're having a good time at Talladega, dude, man. That's awesome. Jenna Allison, Cassandra, do you swim? My tub's Hill in CDA. It's so gorgeous there. So there you go. I'm not sure where CDA is at. Let's see. I love how they featured Parker Retzlaff yesterday in the Xfinity pre-race. He's a cool kid. Yeah, he's got some type of sticker on his car too from some cartoon series. Maybe Dexter's Laboratory. It looked like the Dexter's Laboratory artwork-ish. So yeah, and does bear a little bit of a resemblance to Adam Petty if Adam Petty wore glasses. William Wagaman, how many people have got the have got to blank of Fox playing their obnoxious music over the announcer when you're trying to listen to them. Yeah, that's pretty bad too. I felt like I was one of the few people that realized that, but I'm glad somebody else brought it up. I feel old until I get in the race car. Then I feel like I'm 30, says Mark Langren. And then as soon as you're trying to get out of it, you feel old again, brother. I'm with you on that one. Mike Haywood, as bad as these announcers and commentators are, none of them are as bad as Wally Dallenbach was. Also, Mike Haywood, anti Dallenbach man. Dallenbach did do some cool things when he actually reported from the number 6 Pepsi race car. So he had his moments, but yeah, he definitely had his haters as well. Give it up for Jordan Anderson. With a win, even if it was half the field. Half the field's got to go, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, Jordan Anderson, his race team getting that win, big deal. Congrats to Jeb Burton. He was wheeling it. But Jordan Anderson racing, getting a win, that's an underdog story, and I pull for those. William Wagman says he was the worst, talking about Dallenbach. Molten Rage, daily reminder to vote BJ McLeod into the All-Star race. Do it. We need BJ in the All-Star race. Jamie Schweitzer, this marks the first ever Talladega pole position for Denny Hamlin's Cup career. Yeah. Is that accurate? Wow, that's crazy. Is this his first pole position at Talladega? That seems so crazy. As good as he is at super speedways, you would think he would have had one before that. Josh, that was cool, says Donnie Love. Elite Precision 29, what's up, dude? Hopefully the third lane can form today, but I doubt it. Gen 7 cars have too much drag. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I would like to see the third lane develop myself, but like you said, it's a toss-up with these type of cars. Wally was fine with BP and Allen. I miss old Benny Parsons, man. Red Frog says it's about time JRM replaces Sam Mayer with Carson Voppel. It might happen. I don't know. I don't know how much money Sam Mayer brings in, but I feel like it's a lot, so I don't know. Elite Precision saying, what's up to Bumblebee? Jenna Allison, even more than my wedding day, my best day in my life is going on NASCAR ride along at Las Vegas Motorsports and meeting Kyle Busch. Hey, there you go. So you got to meet your favorite dude. That's always a cool deal. And you got to drive at Las Vegas Motorsports Speedway. So that's awesome. Roofer says, yo, EP29, saying what's up to Elite Precision. Molten Ray says, speaking of that, I rewatched last year's Talladega race, and yeah, there was 3-wide racing, but it's just a reason we didn't see a lot of it because no one was helping that third lane. So definitely for the third lane to come in, they're going to have to work it. So we'll just have to see what happens. I hope it comes in, though, because it makes for much better racing when you can get 3 grooves going or 3 lanes going in the draft. William says, why isn't NASCAR taking any of the Toyotas to R&D? They have gotten caught this year, yet it's their time coming. Also, NASCAR said that it's no longer a random draw. They just sort of pick out who they want to pick out. So they at least admitted that it's no longer random because I don't think it ever really was random at the end of the day. CDA is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, says Jenna. Hey, there you go. I didn't pick up on that. I got you now. Appreciate it. Tony Stewart's only thing left to do in motorsports is to strap in a jet car and go to the salt flats, says Mark Wachowski. Hey, there you go. He needs to do that for sure. Dave Marcus has gone to the salt flats, but not in a jet car. BJ McLeod has a good shot as Chase Elliott. That's why I love Dega. I mean, that's a fair point. Elite Precision, I will not tolerate Wally Dallenbach slander. Yeah, so he didn't bother me either, but apparently he has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I thought he was pretty decent, especially when he was on the in-car. But it's one of those things. I guess he has annoyed some people. Clint Boyer doesn't bother me either, but I guess Clint Boyer annoys a lot of people. And Slumber Tubbs Hill, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So there you go. I'll have to look that one up. I didn't know Elite was oh wow. I didn't know Elite. He was pretty bad in the booth, says Molten Rage. I read that the wrong way, Molten. EP29, legit. Wally was solid. So there you go. Here we go. You know what? Sounds like a poll question. Let's start a poll for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to jump off and forget to close the poll out. I have no idea if I spelled that right. So there you go. And as always, when I put a poll up, I lose my place. So we're going to start here. No, we're not, because I've already answered that one. Jamie Schweitzer, my source, that first Talladega poll is Denny Hamlin's sneaking after getting the pole. So there you go. Pretty cool. That's crazy. That's his first pole at Talladega. Jenna Allison, I love Benny Parsons. May he rest in peace. Yeah, for sure. Benny Parsons was the GOAT, in my opinion. Escobar, I think JRM needs to scale back to one car in Xfinity and concentrate on Cup. Yeah, I mean, I think they need to move up the Cup as well. So I don't know that they would even need to scale back so much as they just need to focus on getting into Cup. I agree with you there, Escobar. I love seeing 3 lanes working yesterday in the Xfinity race. Wish it could happen today also. I hope it happens too, T-Van. Red Frog, any amount of money Sam could bring to JRM doesn't stack up to the equipment he tears up, and not to mention Johnny Morris is funding Carson Voppel and most of JRM's endeavors. Yeah, Carson Voppel's good. Like, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that guy's good, right? So his dad was good too. Like Travis Voppel is one of the most underrated drivers of all time. Never got a great shot in Cup. Yeah, he was in the 77 for Penske, but I don't feel like that 77 was up to par when he was in it. Jenna Allison, does anyone know what car Ricky Bobby's in? Ricky Bobby is in the 27 Wonderbread car. Last time I checked, the Wonderbird Monte Carlo, I think. Wally ran a lot of different cars: Trans Am, Indy IMSA, and stock cars. T-Van says, I never liked Wally. So there you go. Wally is 64% saying yes right now. Let's see. Also, how many excuses can Brandon Jones have until we finally find what kind of a question he can't, why he's in that 9 car. He's been a menace on the track this year, and he has only 1 top 5. It's getting ridiculous now. Yeah, well, the dude had a top 10 at Martinsville, and that's a driver's track, so the dude can drive. I mean, you feel free to like and dislike whoever you want to, but Brandon Brown can drive. Riley Herbst can drive. They got a lot of haters because they're daddy's money, but they've both improved since they've gotten into the Xfinity series, and that's all you can do as a driver. You can't become Dale Earnhardt. Some of that is natural born talent, but what you can do is get as good as you can get, and both of those guys have put in the time and work to get as good as they can get. Mark Langren, JRM Cup is money. But yeah, look, if they put the right guy in the car, they'd make all that back in T-shirts alone. He sold like $4 million worth of Sundrop T-shirts at North Wilkesboro. So if you put the right people in the car, you could fund it typically on merch if you got the right thing going on. Wally and BP were allegedly made $4 million. I don't have the numbers. Wally and BP were NASCAR's version of Rob and Big, epic combination in the booth. Yeah, for sure. I like BP, man. You could put BP with anybody, and it was just like a good mix. Benny Parsons could carry anybody, so maybe that's what I was missing. Maybe he was carrying Wally Dallenbach, and I wasn't paying attention to it. Roofer says I didn't mind Wally. Jamie Schweitzer, I wasn't a Ned Jarrett fan in the booth. No matter where Ned would constantly mention Dick Trickle and Morgan Shepherd, even though they were laps down, because they were his buddies for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. Molten Rage says I didn't like Ned Jarrett because of the Daytona 500 that Dale Jarrett won when he just called his son in, which was cool. But I was an Earnhardt fan and I was young, and it always just bothered me. I finally got over it when I got older. When will Junior finally cut him? I know he brings sponsorship, but you have to cut Brandon Jones. He's not doing anything. Well, to be fair, Molten, none of those cars have done anything this year. They just keep wrecking each other. Greg Brown, Buffet Benny was the best. Still got BP's shirt from when he drove the Copenhagen car. That Copenhagen car was pretty. Jenna Allison, I like Kurt Busch in the booth. Miss Kurt, Rowdy fan for life. Yeah, Kurt Busch is definitely good in the booth. Hopefully he makes a few more appearances this year. Molten says he's not a bad driver, but he does not deserve this opportunity. If he's wasting away like he's doing right now, like with 9 races or 8 races, he has to step it up. Now he's running out of excuses. I mean, you got to produce, but we've seen in the past he can produce. So at this point, we know that it's just been a bad season for him. Miss Kurt, if you love some Rowdy, say heck yes, says Cassandra Keller. Stupid Roofer says, check out Elite Precision's new video. Yep, there you go. So there's the link right there if you want to check out Elite's video. Stupid Roofer has provided the link for you right there, and I appreciate it, Roofer. I want to see Lane Riggs get more seat time, says T-Van. I think a lot of people do. So hopefully they can get that worked out. He was at Hickory this weekend, and I think he got into somebody else's mess, but he did race at Hickory in the car store this weekend. At least says, believe it or not, I had Brandon Jones winning 5 races this year, and yeah, that prediction looking pretty bad so far. Yeah, but you never know. Like, he might get on a streak here, might get on a run. He's a good driver. Like all of all of Junior Motorsports has just had bad luck this year. They keep running all over each other. Jenna Allison says, heck yes, Rowdy Nation, baby. I love Elite's videos, says Cassandra Keller. Justin M says, I like Truex Jr. In the JRM Cup car. I'm with you there, Justin. I think there's something to that, 100%. I know they tried to do something last year, but I think there's still something to that. And I think there's a chance that it happens at Legacy Motorsports, combine Inspire or something like that. But that's just me with my tinfoil hat on thinking. I want to see someone rate. Missed that one. I want to see someone rate the crew chiefs. That would be a good video. That would be a good video. Kurt Busch says Robin Marks. Did you say your predictions or first place or who finishes in last place? Yeah, so I put for like last place. It's going to be probably either Kyle Larson, Joey Logano. I forgot who else I had pulled up for that. But my picks to win the race were either Eric Jones or Brad Keselowski. So pick whoever you want to. And always like Kyle Larson's my favorite. So I'm going with either him or Kyle Busch, pulling from my heart. But I think Eric Jones or Brad Keselowski win this race. That's who I'm going with there. And I guess I got to pick one who's going to finish last. I'll pick. I'll pick either Kyle Larson or Joey Logano. Flip a coin there. They've just had bad luck here. Dialing back was great. Race a 4-time winner, 24-hour champion, 3-time 12 hours at Sebring, and IMSA GT champion. Not bad. And NASCAR 20 plus top 10s, etc. Says Mark Wachowski. Yeah, he could wheel it for sure. We were just talking about him in the booth. Some people didn't like him in the booth. Same here. La was. I was predicting him to win a race, and right now he has looked terrible. Not even a playoff contender alone. That disappoints me. Molten Rage, I think, talking to Elite. Hold fast. I miss Buddy Baker. Buddy Baker was pretty funny, too. Robbie Mark saying Buddy Baker. Anybody know why Harvick won't sign? He won't even sign for people with his colors on. No clue. That's crazy to me, Jake. Back in the day when you used to order diecast from his personal race shop, he signed all of them anyway. So that's a big turn of events. Molten saying Elite, not lie. I got you. Jenna Allison, good luck and God bless all drivers and crew peeps today for sure. Hope everybody's safe. Much respect for Randy LaJoy, but he is named in one of the top 75 NASCAR drivers. Yes, he has 2 Busch Series championships, but no Cup wins. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the full list to get out before I nitpick it, but I feel like I'm gonna have some people I want in that aren't in. And I'll have no problem saying who they should replace. That's just how I roll. Donnie Love says Buddy Baker was cool for sure. Junior has Busch Series championships and over 20 Cup Series wins. I'm sure they'll put him in there at some point. Logan for last place. Logano for last place, says Mark Langren. Brandon Jones hasn't won a race while in a JAR car. That's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. BB the GOAT regarding NASCAR vids. Thank you. I appreciate it, Jenna Allison. Robin Marks, I pick Brad, but every time I do, he has bad luck, so I'm calling him to flip. Maybe he'll win then. I understand where you're coming from on that one. Every time I say somebody's not going to do something, they end up doing the exact opposite. Buddy Baker at Charlotte and Talladega, I miss in the booth. Not so much. Hey, so a lot of people didn't like Buddy Baker back in the day, too. I remember that. I was a little kid, but I remember they would complain about him. Let's see. I think Jones will make the Final Four over other teammates. Hocevar will win the truck title and armbar in turn 4. And Munoz holds on to win ARCA Glory. I like the Munoz ARCA pick. I don't know if Hocevar is going to win the Truck Series title. But I'm with you. I'm still sticking with Jones in the Final Four for Xfinity. So, yeah, I'll go with all your picks. I don't know about Hocevar, but we'll see. I think it's going to be a Thor Sport truck that wins the title again, but it's such a toss-up. I'm going to choose Ty Gibbs as finishing in last place today, says Jamie Schweitzer. I mean, he's got the worst statistics, but he's only had one race here. So statistically, by the numbers, you're looking good. Jim Franklin, I was disappointed in Martinsville last week. No bologna burgers to be found. First time since the early 90s I didn't get one. Also, Martinsville concessions only stole hot dogs, chips, and soda. Yeah, that was pretty bad. You had to go to like a separate vendor to get any type of other food. And yeah, so there you go. I wish they had bologna burgers there for you this year. I don't know why they didn't have them. Hope for a safe race. Still not watching through protesting the NASCAR penalties. says Mark Langren. So his protest continues because of the NASCAR penalties. Hopefully we don't get one this weekend. Jenna Allison says Logano. So she is not a Logano fan. Molten Ray says, like I said, I don't hate him, but he absolutely needs to step it up. Talking about Brandon Jones. Gotta make like a baby and head out. Have a good day, people. Yeah, I'm fixing to head out too. Gonna read these last few ones and then I'm out. So hopefully your driver does good this race, and we'll try to pick it up after the race ends. I'm picking Chase Elliott to win Talladega. Says Jamie Schweitzer. I have to go. Chase Elliott wouldn't be a bad pick. He's got good stats here too. I have to give it to Munoz. He is thinking about Malcolm in the middle, keeping his nose clean and finishing good races in the top 10. Says Escobar. Yeah, he's actually a pretty good little racer. People don't want to give him credit because he's famous, but he's a pretty good racer. Is that Thor Sport Truck? Haley Deegan. LOL says Elite. No, I don't think she'll win the championship, but I think you will start seeing she'll start getting some better finishes here halfway through the season. I think she's going to show that potential, or at least show better than she's shown in previous Truck Series seasons. Patriot Hobbies, what's up? Hold fast. I want to see Harrison Burton and Eric Jones battle it out for the top 10 in the last laps. That would be pretty awesome. I'm going to make like a tree and leave, says Jenna Allison. A happy day to you all. Later, Mark. Have a great day. And as a Martinsville fan, the racing was awful. I'm with you, Jim Franklin. It wasn't the greatest race, but it was a better race in person than last year, and it was a better race in person definitely than they showed on TV from what I've seen. Jones can wheel it at Martinsville. He can sneak into the Final Four. He's going to win a title in a few years if he's still at JRM. Yeah, I don't know about a title, but I think he definitely is going to get the job done at JRM. Just give him a little bit more time. Donnie Love says, have a good day, folks. But I'm not saying he won't win a title, so I don't know why I said it like that. Matty D is holding his own this season, says Brent Dilberg. Yeah, he's turned that whole organization around, so he's doing his thing over there. Joey Logano is as good as they come. Who out there is better, says Mark Wachowski. I would say Kyle Larson, but I'm with you. I put him in my top 5, no doubt about it. I got Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson over him, but that's a personal bias. So, yeah, Joey Logano is definitely a top 5 driver, in my opinion. Out to the shop. Has YouTube censored your channel, says Tate Chasers. I don't know. Not to my knowledge. I hope not. But I'll keep plugging away and making them. So if you just hit the subscribe button and then turn on notifications, it'll let you know when my videos come out. So if you haven't been seeing them, that's all I can tell you. Even some people that have the notification turned on say sometimes they don't see them. So it might just be a glitch. I doubt that they would even worry about a channel my size. So I don't know. Thanks for another great show. Peace, says Jamie Schweitzer. And with that one, I am going to head out. I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, I'll try to get one. I'll try to get a post race one going as well. Until then, peace.